Now let's see the names that are given to the relations in general. So father's or mother's father, either your father's dad or your mother's dad, when your father's, so whoever it is, we generally call him as grandfather. And either father's or mother's mother, we call her as grandmother. Father's or mother's brother, we call him as uncle, which means if your dad is having a brother, we generally call him as uncle. And father's or mother's sister, if your mother is having a sister, then you call her as the aunt, or even if your father is having a sister, you call her as aunt. And uncle's or aunt's child, we call him as cousin, right? Sibling son means, let us say you have a sister or a brother. Sibling means either your sister or brother, that is sibling, right? Now if you have a sister or a brother, and if they have a son, then you are going to call him as nephew. And coming to the daughter, which means if your sister or brother is having a daughter, then you call her as niece, okay? And sons or daughters' children, if you have a son and if that son has a let's say children, then you call them as grandchildren, right? And husband's or wife's father, so if you are married, right, and now let us say you are a male, in that case your wife's father will be called as father-in-law, okay? So husband's or wife's mother, if you are married, and let us say your wife's mother, you call her as mother-in-law. I think you know all this, but just simply we are going. And sometimes if you don't know the gender, then you generally call it as spouse, which means if you are married to someone, you call them as your spouse. If you are male, you call her as your wife, right? So what we mean by here is husbands or wives means your spouse's father-in-law, your spouse's mother-in-law, right? Now husband's or wife's brother, so if you have a wife and if she is having a brother, then you call him as brother-in-law, right? Same thing applies to husband side as well. Now wife's sister, we call them as sister-in-law, which means if you have a wife and her sister, you are going to call sister-in-law. And brother's wife, you call her as sister-in-law. If you have a brother and if he is married, you are going to call his wife as sister-in-law. Sister's husband, if you have a sister and if she is married, you are going to call her husband as brother-in-law. Son's wife, so if you have a son and if he is married, then you are going to call his wife as daughter-in-law. And if you have a daughter and if she is married, then you are going to call her husband as son-in-law, right? So all these relations you are supposed to remember while we are going to solve the questions, okay? Fine.
Hi, if you are planning to do masters, then doing masters abroad is better than doing masters in India. I'll give you all the reasons. So first reason is, out of 1 lakh students who take GATE every year, there are only 500 seats in old IITs. So all the IITs put together have an acceptance rate of 0.5%. And IITs, universities better than IITs, they have very good acceptance rate like 30%, 40%. But all the IITs put together have an acceptance rate of 0.5%. And if you are working hard to get into IIT Bombay's ranking is 177 and IIT Roorkee's ranking is 400. If you are happy to get into IIT Roorkee, then getting into universities better than IIT Roorkee is easier compared to getting into IIT Roorkee. And looking at the salaries for computer science, for software jobs, if you have done your masters in computer science in US, the salaries are ranging from 80 lakhs per year to 1.2 crore per year. So even if you take an average of 1 crore per year, your savings will be much higher than the salaries in India. After taxes and your cost of living, you can easily save 40 to 50 lakhs per year. And in India, the maximum jobs that you get is around 30 lakhs. So your savings will be much greater than the salaries in India. And these are all the services that we provide. University shortlisting. So depending on your profile, we will shortlist what are the universities that you have to apply, and statement of purpose building, and then LOR guidance, and GRE and English test assistance, and education loan assistance. So you don't have to have any collateral. which means without any security, now you can get education loan. Getting education loan is very simple these days, and whatever the amount of fee that you have a range of universities. You can apply for 10 lakh universities, 20 lakh universities, or 50 lakh universities. But whatever it is, you are going to get complete education loan, and you can pay off your education loan in 1 year after you get a job. And then we do visa assistance, mock visa interviews, and then connecting with the university alumni. So now you might ask why we should join Game of Visas. So the answer is we have 90% success rate, 99% success rate. And these are all the destinations that we guide the students to. So we guide students to any country that you want to go. So now it is not just USA. We guide to UK, Germany, Australia, Canada. So we guide students to all the countries. We work with all the destinations. And if you are interested in going abroad, you have to just drop us a message on this WhatsApp number 9494 555 454. Okay, thank you.